Yo, yeah, guys, like, unfortunately, Spurs did not complete the comeback, but what a game it was. What a game it was, to say the least, man. Um, yes, so like it was 2-0 by halftime, right? And then second half, Spurs, obviously, pressure was on them, okay? So coming into the second half, Spurs actually showed more intent. You understand? You saw with players like Destiny Odogi as well as Richarlison, the informed Richarlison, were the guys that were really showing some sort of intent for Spurs in terms of actually getting them back into the game. We saw Richarlison had so many opportunities in the opening stages of the second half in turning to create a comeback for Spurs. You know, he had 2 goals disallowed for offside. You know, he had another brilliant opportunity to get, his fifth goal in just a space of like 4 matches, to continue his redemption mode. But it wasn't to be. It was not Spurs' night. Unfortunately for the Brazilian striker, 2 goals disallowed for offside. And from that point onwards, the game was put beyond any reasonable doubt. In the 63rd minute of the game, guess what? Ecuadorian left back, Pervis Estupinan, he scored a bullet. That was just a bullet, a rocket out of nowhere. I mean, that's the easiest assist that James Milner could ever get in his career. James Milner passed him the ball, and then Estupinan, from 25 yards straight into the top corner, giving goalkeeper no chance whatsoever of actually saving that ball. No chance whatsoever of saving that ball, and put the game beyond any reasonable doubt. And the game was over by the 75th minute in 4-0. Guess what? It was 4-0. Again, Spurs they've got themselves to blame once again. I mean, that was very careless from Giovanni Lo Celso coming off the bench. That was very careless. There was no need for him to actually, commit that kind of a foul on even Ferguson. But I guess, you know what, it was that kind of night for Spurs. They were just not in it. You understand? They dominated, like I said, Spurs dominated the first few minutes of the first half of the game. But then from that point onwards, as Brighton started to grow more into the game, Brighton were rampant. You understand? Yes, Spurs did show some signs, but the only problem with Spurs is that their passing game was just not on point. You understand? The direction, when you look at their passing, right, it's always got good intentions. The direction of the pass is always good, but then just the final weight on the ball, the final weight. You understand? Just that final weight, that final pass is what has been killing Tottenham throughout the 90 minutes of this game. Because yeah, Tottenham did get into great areas. They did create some wonderful plays. You understand? Some wonderful openings. But unfortunately, again, like I said, it's that final pass once again. So yeah, Brighton made it 4-0. You understand? What a brilliant night it was for them. What a brilliant night for the Brazilian João Pedro, scoring again from 12 yards out to actually get his brace, scoring twice from the penalty spot, getting his brace, getting his team's fourth in the 75th minute of the 75th minute of the game. But hey, man, Spurs had other ideas. That's the Premier League at its best, to say the least. That's just the Premier League at its best. This game, the way this game, if you look at the complexion of this game and how it was starting to go, right? It kind of gave you that feeling of it was going to be another Newcastle versus Arsenal game. Remember, like, that's the time when Newcastle made incredible history when they came back from 4-0 down to actually salvage a point against Arsenal at St. James's Park all those years ago, with Czech Tiote scoring the winning goal. May his soul rest in peace. The late Czech Tiote. That was 4-4. From 4-0 down to 4-4. That was a memorable night. And with the way Spurs were playing in the last, 10 minutes or so, hey, it felt like it was going to be the same story. Because guess what? From that point onwards, yes, again, Brighton, Hove Albion have never kept a clean sheet so far this season in the Premier League. They are yet to keep a clean sheet in the Premier League this season. And again, a careless mistake by Lewis Dunk, giving away possession carelessly, setting Kulusevski, free onside, and actually setting up the chance for the Argentine striker, the young Argentine striker, Alejo Vélez, getting his first Premier League goal in the 81st minute of the game, which was just a mere consolation goal for Spurs. But hey, the comeback started from that point onwards. You understand? Yes, great goal, great Awareness by Kulezeski to win the ball back, to actually dispossess Luis Dunk, setting up Alejo Vélez, the Argentine, who scored his first Premier League goal in the 81st minute of the game, to actually kind of stage some comeback, to actually give Spurs some redemption, some consolation, to put more respect on the scoreline for the away side, right? And from that point on, Spurs were dominant. They were dominant. You could smell that this is going to become 4-4. Because Spurs then got the second. They hit back immediately. They scored the second goal. Ben Davies. A great combination between him and Lo Celso. Once again, Lo Celso making the difference, as well as also Jill made a great difference coming off the bench. You understand? Ben Davies getting another goal, the second goal of the game, to actually create a 6-goal thriller, to actually create a nervy finish for the home side in the last 5 minutes or so. And guess what? That's what we saw. Spurs created so many chances. They were just unlucky. Ho Biang hit the post, and off the rebound, it was a great block by the Brighton defender. We saw many chances. Son as well had a great chance to actually make it 4-3. Lo Celso as well had a great chance. Kulezeski also had a great chance. From that point onwards, it was all Spurs. They were dominant. With even 9 minutes to play, imagine. You could smell that now there's going to be another 2 goals. But hey, give credit to Brighton and give credit to the fact that Brighton stood firm. They stood tall. They defended very well. And it was quite like an incredible finish to the game. And give credit to Tottenham for actually putting more effort. But it was just a little bit too late. Yes, they missed a lot of chances. Unfortunately, they were also unlucky to have 2 goals disallowed. But yeah, it is part of the game of football once again. And what does this result actually mean? For the fact that Brighton won 4-2 over Spurs, right? At the American Express Community Stadium. What this actually means is that Brighton, they remain in 8th position, which means that they are currently 7 points behind 4th place Manchester City, right? As for Spurs, Spurs miss out on a chance to go back into the top 4, right? And again, history has been made because Brighton, this is their first victory over a London opponent. You understand? In this current season, it's their first victory over a London opponent. Last time they actually defeated a London opposition, it had to go back to the 14th of May, 2023. That emphatic 3-1 victory at the Emirates. You understand, on that date. So, yeah, that was the last time they clinched victory over London opposition. But this is their first victory over a London opponent this season in the Premier League. And, yeah, they snap up, they end a 3-match winless run. You understand? As for Spurs, it's back to the drawing board once again. And again, Brighton have never kept a clean sheet in the Premier League this season. So, their defense is very poor. Very poor. They need to work more on that. And as for Spurs, it's back to the drawing board. Defending as well is not their strength. They made a couple of mistakes in the midfield as well as in the defense. But I guess it goes back to the absentees of World Cup winner Christian Romero, James Maddison, Rodrigo Bentancur. There's so many notable absentees for Spurs. So could that have played a crucial role in this defeat to Brighton at the American Express Stadium? Perhaps. You understand? And one thing that you should also notice, Spurs now were on a great form, following that 5-match winless run. Coming into this one, they had won 3 consecutive games, so they wanted to continue with that momentum. But again, it's back to the drawing board for Spurs, right? Yeah.